Let me start by saying that the question of infrastructure, the lack of infrastructure, marginalization, contributes immensely to insecurity. In fact, let me say this, it is not by accident that 23 counties in this country, 23, making up to almost 70% of the landmass is insecure. It is because those counties form part of those counties that were declared in the sessional paper number 10 of 1965 that they are low potential areas. And so if you count, maybe let's remove Mombasa and maybe not even Kwale. Kwale is also still inaccessible. So if you look at Kwale, you come back to Kilifi. Largely, Kilifi is a very poor county, not by accident, but by design, by marginalization, you know. You go to Lamu, you come back to Tana River, you go to Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, Marsabit, Isiolo, you come back to this Kitui, and partly you jump to now like Kipia, Samburu, Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, West Pokot, and Turkana, and some other few other counties there. I think not 23 per se, you plus or minus about 4 or 5. So you have about 17, 18 counties that are really, really, really marginalized. But the landmass they contribute is about maybe 70 is an exaggeration, 60% of the landmass in the country. It's because of marginalization, period. It's either that the people who are taking guns have no school to go to, you know, they have no business to do, they've never seen a class, and they have no access. If you want to do a security operation in Tana River, inside there, how would you go there? If you want to do the same in Wajir, Mandera, Garissa, Marsabit, the same problem, the same question of access to road access is everywhere. So the only answer, I am telling you this, the reason why, as Mwangangi was saying, this problem has been 50 years old. If we want not to say in another 50 years, this problem has been 50 years old, the solution is not the gun, it's not the police, it's not a military base, it is not the game reserve being no. The solution number one is development. That is why, and this is a position I've stood for from the beginning, I find it laughable and actually ridiculous that someone is opposing resources to come to this county, devolved resources to come to this county, and all these other marginalized counties. If you remember when I was in the Senate, and we had what we call Team Kenya, with the senator of this county, of Makueni, of Tana River, all those places. Why I was extremely passionate, notwithstanding the fact that Elgeyo Marakwet was going to gain about 300 million, why I was very opposed to the formula that was being pushed by the previous government to deny money to these marginalized areas is because I know very well that this is a place, this policy of sessional paper number 10 of 1965, if it is continued, the other parts of the country will never know peace when these other places never know peace. So my answer to the future, my proposal to the future of these insecure areas in the country, either facing Al-Shabaab or banditry, is purely development. What we are doing in the Ministry of Interior now, and the police to pacify, build the police stations, have police officers, NPR and so forth, is called pacification. But the real solution is in development. And therefore I agree with you that there must be a separate master plan that will serve these marginalized counties. For example, let me, apart from Kitui here and Tana River that I've given you as an example, why is Meru suffering banditry? Why is Meru, where people, fertile Meru, where people are fairly settled, why are they suffering banditry? It's because the neighbors in Isiolo and Samburu are operating in inaccessible areas. So what has happened? First of all, they have no schools, they have no access to development, meaning there is a breeding ground for the attacks, for the bandits themselves. So it will take another 20 years of continuous schooling to suck away the resource, the human resource, who are being used to cause violence. Number two, for you to go and do operations in Mukokodo Forest, yeah, and Sibilo area and Samburu East and Isiolo, for you to go and do an operation there, you need to have access to the place. The police cannot reach there, vehicles cannot reach there, and nobody cannot reach there. So if you go to TRT constituency, why is it a problem in the entire Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, and Turkana? It's because it's totally inaccessible, you know. So let's look at the question of development. I really hope that also after my trip, I hope that we can have a conference, not a conference, but a conversation among leaders and security agencies and practitioners in the security sector, and ask ourselves, what is the security of this country, especially in the marginal areas, on banditry and terrorism in the next 20 or 30 years? And then have in place a security plan that does not look at guns and whatever, that looks at the things you're talking about. How can you connect Kitui to Hola? Why am I tomorrow? Why do I have to go all the way to Kibwezi so that I come back to Wote, when I would have just used 30 minutes to go to Wote from here? So it shouldn't be the case. And I know, and that's why when the president spoke the other day, you know why people were laughing at President Ruto? When he spoke about Isiolo, Modokashe, Wajia, Kotulo, Elwak, until Mandera. You know why? Because to many Kenyans, that is a far-fetched dream. It's not even possible to develop that place. This is a joke. This is, in fact, that's why they feel like, it's a lie. Who even thinks about changing the lives of people? When we came to office, let me tell you for as a matter of fact, when we came to office, the president told me, because I was in the infrastructure sector, that we must do everything to open up these marginalized areas if we must save the rest of the country. Why are terrorist elements opposed to tarmacking of roads? Because they know they cannot plant IEDs on the road. They know that development will come closer. You will not have the people to recruit to engage in violence. That's why we changed the road, which was Maram, from Lamu to Ijara, and ensure that we are putting tarmac. And the process is going on for tarmac. And that road of Lapsed is going all the way through Karbatula to Isiolo. That is why the president spoke about the 750 kilometers road, which I am confident that in the next 3 years, we shall be able to deliver that road. And that's why later we must do the road from Ijara through Dadaab all the way to Liboy. So that the only way we can do away with banditry is to do good road. And the study is there. The road between Isiolo all the way to, from Isiolo to not Marsabit, all the way to Moyale. It was insecure, and before President Kibaki came in to invest in that road. Look at how it is now. People drive day and night, and it's no longer a risk for people to use that road. So I propose that what we are doing in the security sector is a stopgap measure. What is really supposed to be done is to put money in water, roads, schools. If you do those things and then followed by electricity and these other issues, the rest of the country will be peaceful. Then we will, all of us, KDF and the other team, can work in securing the borders. But internally, we will be safe if we can ensure that our population themselves can achieve greater development by dealing with marginalization. I'm sorry for really, that's a topic that is very passionate. I am very passionate about.